That's not even ink.
Let's go, baby.
No, into here.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
No, you gotta say it clear, otherwise you won't be able to hear it.
Let's go, baby.
It's, do you use the chest press?
I haven't used it yet.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
I just used it right before I came up here.
I
Actually.
only used the leg one.
The
The
chest press was ours. Like, so I got rid of that piece, like,
Really?
4 years ago.
I don't remember it being here.
It was always on the big side, because it's got the same padding. Like, I painted that black.
Yeah.
And put that pad on it, and then sold it, and then bought it back from Doug. Yeah, I guess it's.
Or did I use that before?
Yeah, probably.
Because it was like they were next to each other. The lap pull down one.
Yeah.
And the chest was right
and
next
then
to it.
he still
right?
has the other. Remember the seated one that I had? It was a seated hammer strength, and it was the chest supported. You'd know it if you saw it, because it's all the same. But yeah, it's full circle that it's back here now.
I know. I was like, how did you already pad it? It looked exactly like the other equipment at the
It's
gym.
like fresh compared to the other ones I painted then, because it really just like sat in his basement for, yeah, I guess it's probably like 4 years or so.
Full circle.
But the leg press is nice. I use that.
Did you give him the vertical press?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got all that done today?
Yeah.
Nice.
What else? And then I moved that chest press into that corner.
Yeah.
And then the chest press and the row are supposed to be going. And then I'll get another
When's Buddy
piece.
come pick it up?
I don't know, actually. Hopefully, he said this week, but he didn't message me today. So,
cool.
Would you train?
I had a little bit of chest, but then I just got a sport belt. Been trying to get one for like a year at this point, so I was like, I'm playing with this new toy. So a little bit of log, a little bit of axle, and
Do you mostly train like strongman stuff?
now that I'm here, yeah, I think just because I miss it so much.
Yeah.
From like it took me like 6 months to find this place, so
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Googling and Reddit and stuff, and it was like, yeah, I'm probably screwed. And then finally someone said, hey, contact like Strongman Ontario, they connect me with Andrew, connect me with you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, but I when I'm here, I like to train strongman. I do have kind of a little gym in my apartment, lap pull down, just the basics type stuff. So I'll usually do that after like class, whatever, just because it's quick and like I take the bus here and everything. So
Yeah.
This way I can get a quick workout in between all my assignments and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of being us over the head this semester a little bit. But
Yeah.
That's all right.
So what year? Where are you at in school?
So I'm in my second semester of 6.
Oh, okay.
3-ish. It's kind of weird how they set the semesters, but 3 kind of them are placements. So they can send us a whole bunch of different locations. One has to be a physical, one has to be a mental, and then the other one is kind of just
That's
whatever.
at Western?
Yeah, at Western. Student occupational therapist. You got to be real careful about calling yourself an OT before you get that license, because it's a whole thing.
But do you get out after those like this? Are you an occupational therapist?
No, so after I finish this, I get qualified to write the licensing exam. If I get average of that year, I believe, or above, I've been told, then I get my license. Typically, it's like a 75% average.
Yeah.
And then I can go do, like, OT has a huge range.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of NAFTA right now, so if I want to go to the States, I could do that.
So do a lot of people go to full OT after doing that program?
Oh, yeah.
Like most people, that's their goal, basically?
Yeah, it's a master's program, so, like, everyone here wants to do it, which is kind of nice. It's not like undergrad where, like, people are like, I'm here just so I can...
Is that, like, different or the same? Like, I know a bunch of people that went to school in Hamilton for, like, I think it was OT specifically. Is that, like, just another place, or is that something that different?
It could be. I haven't actually looked into Hamilton.
I guess you wouldn't, you're not necessarily from around
No,
locally, right?
so I'm from Calgary originally. Spent the last 7 years out in Kelowna, BC, and then... So I got no idea. People have been telling me, "Oh, I'm from this place in Ontario." I'm like, I haven't.
Yeah.
When'd you move here?
I moved here. In August, and that was a shit show, to be honest. Because the place I was supposed to go into was just like not advertised. Like we went in, it was dirty. And it was a whole shebang, but I'm now in a better place, and
So you had to find a new spot like last minute, or hadn't you even
it
moved
was
down
actually
yet?
crazy because me and my dad came down with me,
Yeah.
and we went to the place, and he's furious because like place is super dirty.
Where was it?
I don't want to say just because I don't know
Yeah,
about the box
true.
of worms, but long story short, the place I was supposed to go to, super dirty. Like,
Yeah.
and they argued, oh, it wasn't that dirty,
Yeah.
whatever. But it was pretty damn dirty
Yeah.
and everything. So we walked out to a coffee shop, and I was like, trying to be like, hey, Dad, relax. Like, I'll tough it out. It's 2 years of my life. I'll just suffer for that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that place isn't like safe. He saw an ad, called him, and lucky enough, the owner picked up.
Oh no
Okay.
way.
And he was like, yeah, I'll get you in for a tour in like 5 minutes.
Oh sweet.
So we
Awesome.
literally
That's
left
luck.
that place,
Yeah.
went over there, and he goes, I looked at a place. He goes, tell you what, sign here, here, and here. Go get some furniture. You move in 2 hours.
Oh sweet.
So
So,
I got
it just
super
works
lucky.
out.
That's
Yeah.
so
so-
lucky. Yeah.
So you have to drive all your stuff down, or
No,
some of
so
it?
I flew. I actually just recently got my car sold.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm looking about possibly getting a car here just
Yeah.
for like placements and stuff. They do take into account if you have a car or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, sometimes it's trickier than others. It's like, well, you can get there, but it's like an hour bus every day, and
Yeah.
you start at like
Yeah.
7, 6, whatever a.m. So it's like, okay, well,
It's so much easier having a vehicle, right?
exactly, yeah. Like I love just driving along like the Okanagan
Yeah.
and stuff. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I flew everything down in like 4 suitcases, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I guess it's if you're not like
I'm probably not going to be
light
staying here,
traveler, yeah,
but
yeah.
We'll see. I've kind of decided that I'm young, I'm single, and like, I got options. I'm gonna go where the money is. I'm gonna go where I can get the best experience.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So what brought you to London? Just that?
Just school, honestly.
Yeah.
I had never even, to be honest.
Did
heard
you
of this.
did you only apply for Western or
No,
other schools?
I applied for a lot of. I applied for 8 different therapies, 4
Okay.
physios, 4 OTs. Western was the only one to accept me.
Oh no
Oh
way.
wow.
So it was
Interesting.
I was like, I worked for 2 years as a kinesiologist
Mm-hmm.
after I got my kinesiology degree. And I was also a neurologist and MOA or neurologist assistant, not a neurologist. Apologies.
Mm.
But yeah, so I worked there for 2 years. Plus, I was doing other work. Like I was, those like cringy, like I want to say like oh my gosh, those cringy 80s workout videos stuff.
Yeah.
Like boot camp. Yeah, I was doing some of those for like. But they'd give me like, yeah, so we want some old people to do some chair exercises for the arms. So you can only like sit in
Yeah,
a chair
yeah,
in front
yeah.
of a camera going, come on guys, keep it up so many times before
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
This
Yeah.
is getting old.
I will say a lot of the knowledge I learned in there really shaped a lot of stuff I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially with like concussions and stuff is like I actually recently recently just got another concussion. Like I just kind of tried to tough it out. I went to my simulated field work. Remember getting there, I remember doing the field work. I don't remember doing any of my charting.
Yeah.
I
How
remember
did that
stepping off the
happen?
bus and went, uh-oh. I was like, how the hell? I remember stepping off the bus thinking, how the hell did I get here? I panicked. It's like, oh my gosh, did I just like forget to do my
Yeah.
charting or whatever? And I looked, I'm like, no, I did it.
Done.
Okay, time to go see a doctor.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a little sketch, but
For sure.
When's the
like-
first time you got a concussion?
oh wow. I want to preface by saying I used to do boxing, wrestling. I've done MMA, Muay Thai,
Okay.
all the stuff that's like head trauma stuff.
All right.
So confirmed, I've had like 4 or 5 concussions, total around 9, I think. But I think the first time I got a concussion was grade 9 wrestling at the Alberta Winter Games.
Okay.
I got my head slammed into the guy. Kind of locked me in a move that you're not supposed to do, threw me off. He got a warning for it, and he slammed my head onto the basketball court off the mat. And then he was headbutting me the whole time. And I remember kind of the ref coming over, calling the AT, being like, check this guy out. And I like guessed half the stuff, and he's like, okay.
Maybe.
He's like, yeah, okay. The second time he did it, he's like, what's the date? I was like, October 3rd. It was like March, middle of March. And he's like, what's your name? Olivino. And and then I kind of was like staying there, and I remember falling to a knee and going, because I almost just vomited because I was so
Yeah.
dizzy because he slammed me again.
Yeah.
And that was the only match I lost that entire year was against that guy.
Wow.
And I actually beat him to get the spot. I had the fastest pin in the tournament. I was super proud. I pinned a guy in 4 seconds.
That's crazy.
So I was pretty all right wrestler, I like to think.
Yeah.
I wasn't even allowed to compete in the singles, and I got an honorary 4th place.
Do you do any of that, like wrestling or anything like that now, just
Not
for like
anymore,
functional stuff or anything like that?
I love wrestling. I miss boxing. I miss MMA.
Yeah.
Like I've had so many concussions.
Yeah.
And I've
It just gets
seen,
dangerous, right?
Yeah, and I've seen what happens when you ignore it. Like I've worked with people who have like newborn babies that they just cannot hold anymore because even like the slightest cry will send them into vomiting.
Yeah.
Like as a neurologist assistant, I think that was probably some of the worst people I saw. Especially because like physio, we had physio, kinesiology, vision therapy, whole shebang, but a lot of it wasn't covered under like provincial healthcare. So like, because physio is not, kinesiology is not, counseling typically isn't, but neurology is. So we saw a lot of people who couldn't afford to do that.
Yeah, really?
Oh yeah, like a lot of people come to the neurologist just hope for a quick fix, which isn't always the case. So my job as the assistant was to take their information and then take a history, get angles of impact, what area of the head, because, you hit in the back of the head, that's the occipital lobe, it's your eyes, etc., right? We need to know those things. So I listen to a lot of people reliving some of the worst.
Well, that's like, even just experience aside, is like just being the person that downloads all that information is like huge, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's
from a professional standpoint.
Oh yeah, it was. I know there was times where it wasn't great, of course. Like I've had people get very upset with me to the point of almost them
physical or whatever.
I've never actually had a patient get physical with me. I've had very close times.
Yeah.
That's where you kind of have to de-escalate that situation, and but I've had some close calls. And you gotta remember, like these people are going through some of the worst times of their lives. Right?
Yeah.
You gotta have that empathy and not sympathy, because that if you got sympathy for someone, you just feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it just makes them feel like, oh, what was me?
Not really productive.
Yeah, exactly. So
is that going to be like, is that even on your professional career trajectory, is that a big focus, is like head trauma, or like
it could
even like CTE, right? Like that's a big one.
Oh yeah.
Or do you have something that like you even on is your radar to specialize in, or can you specialize in certain stuff, or is it kind of
technically
general?
We can't say we specialize in anything, but it's kind of a weird thing because you as an OT, you have such a large range. We do everything from substance abuse, homelessness, mental health, to like amputations, wheelchair, walkers, pediatrics, geriatrics, palliative care. It's a huge field, and concussions and everything like that. Home care. For my field day, I got to go sit in a guy's car who is also a big gym bro, and he's been wanting to try this gym out, so I was trying to hype up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to go into like people's houses, and we looked at, okay, well, if this piece of equipment, does it fit with you right now? Can it support you? Like, have you changed? So it's a huge area. I think the only one that I'm kind of like don't really want to do right now is forensics. And that's just because I've seen the other side. When I was a neurology assistant, like I've seen the people who were at the other end of that assault, the other end of that, those other things. So I just don't know how I'd react to that. And I've heard some stuff that I've gone to the gym and I've just been like slamming weights, and I'm usually very good at separating work and that. But
what's the like almost like patient funnel for like OTs in general? Like, is it all just like the patient or person reaching out directly, or is it like, are they referred to you from a doctor or something else? Like,
typically they're referred. It could be from their insurance, from physio, counseling. Even when I was a kinesiologist, I filled out a couple OT referrals, but typically from the physician, especially like post-acute care and acute care stuff. Like there are OTs in hospitals who do hand therapy is another big one. We work with hands a lot, so forming splints. So it really depends on what, but for acute care where they're coming out of a hospital, typically it's that doctor saying, like, okay, OT, get in there, check their wheelchair. If they are going to need this long-term, let's look at different funding sources.
And like, is that something that like a physician would kind of know someone's like specialty, like, because if you can't really have like a label for like a certain specialty, is it like, do different physicians know different OTs kind of like,
It's
expertise areas, or
typically, from what I've seen in Ontario at least, typically it's a lot less like, oh, like, Aldo, you go and do this, or you get a referral directly. You refer it to one of the different, like, clinics that are out there who employ OTs.
and then they'll kind of
And they'll kind of go, okay, we need someone to see patient Z sometime for XYZ.
Yeah.
Okay, who's going to take it? Jacob, you're free. Can you take it? Great, awesome, set it up. So it's a lot less like, okay, call someone up and do it.
Yeah.
How many patients throughout a day, like your work day, do you go through usually?
So it really depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
I've heard all over. When I was shadowing my preceptor, he had about 4 patients. I don't know, 5. Yeah, 5 patients, and he said it's a pretty typical day. So 5 patients each for an hour to an hour and a half, typically, he said. It just depends on if it's an initial, how big is the home. Because if you have like a 2-bedroom apartment, that's one thing to kind of go through and go, okay, well, we might need to put grab bars here, and we need to think about this doorway compared to, like, a mansion, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So it really depends, but he said typically he'll take 20 patients in a week.
Okay.
And, yeah, which I'm actually kind of glad to hear, because when I was a kin, at my busiest, I'd have 8 patients a day.
Yeah.
So all that charting. And when I was a kin and a neurology assistant, my record was 13 patients in an 8-hour span.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Oh, my God.
And most of those are obviously coming to a clinic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually to the clinic. It, like I said, really depends. I've heard, like, from pediatrics, you bring to the clinic, and we can get you fed with some prosthetics maybe for your child. We can maybe look at doing some exercises. It really depends. It's just based on what that kind of clinic specializes in, what the need is. That's one of the nice things about OTs. We're very flexible.
Yeah.
It's a lot less like, okay, well, you're going to an OT, you're doing this. Like, it really depends. We do everything from amputations to...
And is it like even that industry is a lot of like, or someone going through it, like, is it, maybe it's personal preference too, is like, do a lot of people or a lot of OTs have any like individual businesses? Like, are they private practices, or are they like...
There are some with private practices, yeah. I believe one of my professors actually before this had her own private practice. I don't want to say the name, but yeah. So you can have your own private
And it would just be
practice.
all a matter of like building up your clientele and
Yeah,
getting networking and everything to get
exactly,
things
yeah.
going.
Yeah, we literally just had a thing today on like, you guys be really careful about how you like promote yourself. They're very specific guidelines. And like, for example, I learned this recently. This made me kind of shocked. There was actually a dentist in Alberta who on like his advertising said he was the best dentist in Alberta, and he had the most advanced dental rehabilitation, whatever, something along those lines care.
Yeah.
For that advertisement, he was suspended for a year and fined $175K.
Wow.
Like, for something that a coffee shop puts up when they say best coffee in
Right.
Calgary, right?
Really? Just because it's like...
Because you're making...
bad taste almost type of thing, like it sounds like?
They kind of explained it as, like, he broke the rules of how you can, like,
Yeah.
present yourself, and also it's kind of unprofessional to... By saying I'm the best, you're kind of
Yeah, yeah.
dissing everyone else. So that's how it was kind of explained to me in lecture, but... Yeah, so you gotta be really careful with how you.
I mean, it depends. I don't know. Obviously, I could kind of see. Like, imagine every doctor was just like, "I'm the best."
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like an eye clinic will do. It's like, or maybe not an eye, like optometrist or something like that. But like, yeah, really go like
Well, it's
wild
a little bit
west
more
with like
professional, right? I
advertising.
mean,
yeah.
you're not gonna be like he says, like best shawarma in town. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
just like these are professional.
Yeah.
It
people.
is. Yeah, like it's. I don't know if I want to do private practice just on my own, just from how much work that sounds like. Maybe in the future that'd be great, especially if I build up my
But you take a
clientele,
lot
but
of
yeah.
liability, don't you, by having your own private practice?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Isn't it?
in a lot of things you got to have, like, you have to have insurance through college, I believe, and all
Right.
that anyways. But yeah, you take on a lot of that liability.
Yeah.
If someone comes in and disputes your claim, then that's all on you to
Right.
figure out, and you gotta get the college involved. So, yeah, I thankfully as a kin, I only think once I had to do anything like legal, wise for a client, but that was really it. I'm very thankful for that. I don't really want to be going in front of a judge every week and defending my decisions. And I did that enough with insurance adjusters, and sometimes that made my head spin. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about the profession or anything.
But I'm sure there's a not so pleasant side to
there
everything.
There is. Yeah, I had times where I had to argue a lot of things that, would work with some adjusters, would not work with others.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of have to have that talk, hey, it's just about understanding.
Yeah.
And I'm not dissing any of them. I'm not saying oh, these guys are horrible at their jobs. No, I'm saying you have to understand their side and my side, because if I'm a kinesiologist or an OT or physio or whatever, they need to understand, and I need to say it plainly, and sometimes I'm bad at that. So that was a lot of the clashes. And again, not dissing them in the slightest. I'm not saying, they were horrible at their jobs or they screwed up something that was clearly whatever. I'm not saying that at all, but you just got to kind of have that conversation. I had multiple times where I'd sit with the insurance or not with them, but on a phone call and just be okay, where's that disconnect, have that talk, and, hopefully we can get things resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is everything you're doing, you said is it applicable in the States too? You can.
It's part of NAFTA.
It's probably everywhere, no?
Oh, it's everywhere. We're an aging population.
Well, I just mean not necessarily not all countries recognize other countries' schooling and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
But no, I can. From what I was told by my preceptor during my shadow day, it's part of NAFTA. He said he almost went to Dallas after he got his.
Yeah.
You just have to find someone who's willing to hire you and write a note to immigration saying, I want to hire this guy.
Yeah.
So I believe it is. If you want to go anywhere else, though, there is a massive 3-day long exam.
Oh, wow.
And then you can practice anywhere in the world as an OT. But I'm a 3-day long exam. That sounds.
Yeah, you never know. I guess if the right opportunity was to present itself or something like that, it would be
And it all depends. It's also how much, if you're interested, money wise, right? It's
Yeah.
If you want to go and work somewhere that pays you 3 times more, then
yeah, it might be worth it or something.
All depends what you're going for, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. I've got a lot of plans right now. I want to continue strongman stuff I want to come back after that injury. I was so mad at BC Strongest, so I want to do that. I want to.
When's the next one, or just you'll figure it out once things slow down and stuff?
What happened with the injury? Tell us that.
So, I was prepping for provincials in BC Strongest Man, and about a month before, and it was really bad timing because it was 2-ish weeks away from me packing up my tiny apartment, throwing 7 years of my life in a car and driving to Calgary. I was training on a shield, which is basically a giant metal box, but because it's BC Strongest, they made it out of big metal, big sheet metal to look like the province. It's about 255 pounds. I'm carrying it. I'll show you a photo later, but it's pretty much 4 feet something.
Yeah.
So when I pick it up, I can't see. I have to have people yell at me to turn around so I don't slam into a wall.
Yeah.
And I went to put it down, and there wasn't anyone there to help me. So I was like, okay, I got to get this thing down because I don't want to just dump the equipment, which is stupid. Equipment's not worth your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically went to a lunge with my right foot back. And as I did, my right heel kind of popped back. I heard a super loud, crack and a snap. And I just fell back, screaming. And thank God, my buddy Lucas, he was there. Thank God for him because he, grabbed the shield. Otherwise, that thing would toppled on top of me.
Shit.
Crushed me. I was fully convinced I just tore my Achilles.
Yeah, so it was just
it's Achilles.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
I don't know what I've done.
Yeah.
I've gone to 3 or 4 different people. I had one person tell me I cracked my tibia. I was like, "Oh, can I get an X-ray?" They're like, "Well, okay." And I'll explain. I'll before I get into that, I'll kind of explain what happened. I couldn't train for a week. I'm a month out. I couldn't even do a deadlift with minimal pain for 225, which competition's I think 450 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy.
Damn.
And I couldn't do any of that without pain until a week before the competition. It was real bad, and like I was just trying to rehab as best I could. You know, just it's a really slow process. So I showed up that day. I was doing horrible in the events on sandbag. My technique was horrible at that time because I hadn't trained it much. But like trying to just lap it, like felt like I was driving a nail in. On axle bar, every pop just felt like someone stabbed me up the bottom of my heel into my ankle. And then on deadlifts, the third event, I was locked into the bar with my figure 8 loops. And every single thing, you can see like my face in it. I got a bad habit of smiling when I lift. Actually, it kind of comes from an ex who was like, "You're so scary when you lift." You always grunt. So now I smile and it's even worse. But yeah, I know. But you kind of see my smile fading into just like pure aggression, and my ankle was wobbly the whole time. On my last rep, my ankle was just wobbling, started like slipping back, and my heel kind of dragged, and I shoved it back to stop myself from like slamming back. When I landed, it felt like someone superheated a railroad spike and shot it up from my ankle into my knee.
Yeah, that's
like
shitty.
I got carried off. I couldn't put pressure on it. And the next event was frame carry, and I can't walk.
Yeah.
Like, I can hobble, and that's it. I
Yeah.
can't put pressure on, so I had to stop. So I want to come back, and I want to, you know, prove to myself, hey, you can do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Strongman is a very unique sport to me. And it's very special because I'm a featherweight. So I'm like, all of my competitions when I did novice, I competed at like 172 to 175 in a weight class that the max is 220.
Yeah.
Shit.
I got 5th in Kelowna Strongest, and the guy who got first, awesome guy named Tyrone, he's a really cool dude, but he was 200-something. And then when I competed at Kamloops Strongest, I got 2nd. The guy who placed 3rd was 219 pounds. I bulked for a week and lost 3 pounds, and I was so upset. I bulked for a week, and I was just like eating everything. I was literally at a packet of Oreos on the drive up.
Wow.
And I finished the entire sleeve. I get on the scale. I went from 175 to 172.
How?
I was like, how does that make sense? But yeah, so after that, I saw a physio who said, I think you partially ruptured your Achilles. Okay. I went to a doctor here who said, yeah, you might have ruptured your Achilles. Like, you might need some imaging, but I'm going to refer you to a sports med doctor for the imaging. And he was kind of dragging he's the one who kind of said, like, I think you might crack your tibia, but it might just be a hairline fracture. Because he was kind of dragging his thumbs up my shins, like, huh, that's not right.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean that's not right? And to be fair, I had pain in my shins, so I was like, could be, whatever. And then the sports med doc's like, nah, I don't think you did. Like, you're fine. I think you might have sprained your Achilles instead. Then I saw another physio who said, I'm pretty sure it's not your Achilles. It's one of the ligaments in your lateral side of the ankle. And I saw a massage therapist who also agreed with him. So I'm like, I just have a messed up ankle. I'm done trying to.
Is it better now?
It's a lot better now. Like I am back up to 455 squat. I can deadlift. I can do all that. Still occasional some pain, but like I said, I was a king for years, so I was able to do that. I never touched weights though until like my 20s.
Really?
I was
just wrestling and stuff.
Not even that. It was just everyone kind of told me like, don't get too bulky. You're gonna look shorter. And then I kind of had the realization of, I am 5'3". There is no shorter.
Let's just get wide.
I might as well just get muscle at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, with all those girls with 6 foot over Tinder thing, I'm not even bothered. I was on. I don't go on dating apps a ton these days because I'm just like I'm stressed enough for school. But I was laughing my ass off the bike because we were looking at this girl who had a thing like we'll find out together if you're lying about your height, and I'm like. And I respond like, why would I put 5'3" if I'm lying? Why not go? What my friend said and made me laugh so hard was he goes, you should change your height to be 6'3", and then the last prompt be like, a fun fact about me is I took my height wearing 1 foot stilts.
Yeah, see if they can put it together.
But yeah, so I want to do the strongman stuff. I want to travel. I want to go to Italy. When I'm done, I think me and my dad are gonna go on like a 3-week Italy trip after I write my license. And there's just so many options for OT. I do want to work. Part of me wants to work with kids. I love working with kids. I've done a ton of AT stuff in the past for high schools, rugby, university. I've Yeah, so I do like working with kids, and like I went to some parade with a few cosplay friends of mine for like all dressed up in Spider-Man suits for the kids. And I felt so bad because some kid came sprinting up to me. I'm a Venom costume that I got when I was 10 pounds lighter. So
It's
and
tight.
he starts running to me and goes, Spider-Man! And I turn around with the scary mask on, and he just stops in his track and starts screaming running to his mom. I grab Spider-Man and go say hi to that kid right now.
Save me.
But yeah, so I don't really know. I'm going to go where the money is and the opportunities are.
Right.
And I'm gonna carry what I did in kinesiology over. I think personally, like I've including volunteer work from like high school, I've been working in the rehab field for like a decade.
Yeah.
Or volunteering.
Did you know when you were in kinesiology that you wanted to go OT eventually, or is that a normal path for OTs to take, or is
so I actually wanted to go into physio or med school originally. My MCAT, my first one wasn't great. My second one, I thought I did really well, and then got the score back, and I was kind of like, what happened? But yeah, so maybe that's in my future. We'll see. You know, I'm not one to give up.
Yeah.
Like, that fighting spirit I got in boxing, like, I literally, all the other strongmen, one of them called me the experiment, because I'll literally just go until, like, I always say, my goal is not to win. My goal, because if I'm going to get that medal on my chest, I don't want it to be because that guy had a fluke.
Yeah,
of
course.
I want to go until either my body stops and gives out, the ref stops me, or the timer does. Like, that's it. So I'm not want to give up, but we'll see. I think into physio, so I was like, OT is pretty cool, and I just want to help people, work in therapy. My biggest thing is wanting to help people. Like, that's all I want to do. Like, that's the other thing I don't want to work in. I don't want to work in, like, policy and stuff like that, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be that one-on-one on the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
Work, I guess, but yeah. But no, London is all right. This gym is amazing.
Yeah, it's London. Yeah, probably if you're coming from like out west, I mean, not much is gonna beat that as far as just like setting.
Well, everyone always asks me, how you liking London? And it's like, well, it's not really fair because when I was in Kelowna for my last like 2 years ish, I was living above a brewery, one of the best breweries in Kelowna, across from one of the best beaches in Kelowna.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you come to London, you know?
Then I come to London, yeah, exactly. Like, I used to finish work, and I'd either go to the gym, or I'd hop on my paddle board, or I'd meet up with some buddies, and we'd drive somewhere around the Okanagan and go bouldering outside, or bouldering gym or whatever. So, yeah.
Do you go back home? Have you been home? Do you go home much?
So here's the issue with Kelowna is none of my family's there.
Oh.
Only have friends. It's like I don't even have an address there,
Yeah.
which caused a whole bunch of issues when I moved here because I'm an idiot and didn't realize that my driver's license, which I've been trying to get changed over. I'm gonna be doing that real soon, but my medical card especially expires on my birthday of this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I get a new like face card? Like, yeah, go into this like ICBC or driver's license thing and go do it. And I was like, issue.
I need a
other side of the country. And also don't have a address. Can you put an Ontario address on a BC like healthcare? No.
Probably
so I work something out with the healthcare thing, and then I have to get a Ontario license.
That's so weird, man. I mean, it's one country, dude. Like, why'd they make it so difficult?
Well, it probably is a catch-22 that you don't have an actual home address.
But the other thing that's unique on Ontario is you're supposed to get your license, like if you're driving and stuff, I think it's like you have 60 days to get your license changed over if you're like,
a resident, if you're now living in Ontario.
Yeah, but it's a year before I can get onto their healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking at it because it used to be 6 months. When I looked at it a while ago, because I was like, if some reason I do want to move back to Kelowna, but if for some reason I end up staying here, you know, like what's the process? I was like, okay, 6 months, whatever. But yeah, so it changed recently. I was like, and then I haven't been driving while I'm out here. I literally parked my car in my dad's driveway in Calgary, and just sat there till it sold, and like I want to get my driver's license now that that's sold and get that all set. But yeah, it is a little odd. I did consider shipping my car out here or like driving it. But number one, that's a 3+ day drive.
Yeah.
Number two, my car is 11 years old and I don't want to junk on the brand too much because it was an amazing car, love it, but at the same time the parts are so fucking expensive. I go for an oil change, and there was times I'd show up to Jiffy Lube and they're like, "Sorry, you gotta go with this Jiffy Lube because we don't have we have a filter that fits in your car." Also, it's like $50 more expensive.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, but it's we're gonna see how it goes.
So you're here at least for another year, like, or 2, 6 semesters, you said?
Yeah, I'm here until. So I will graduate in summer 2026. So
yeah,
okay. 2026. Yeah. The last term is like online though, so I'll figure it out from there. But yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping to compete at Battle of the Brink while I'm here with some of the guys. I was hoping to do the weight pit, but no one's going there, and I'm like, well.
I want to go with my friends.
Don't go hitchhiking. Because if I get hurt out there and I don't have a car, it's like dumb. So.
Right.
So when do you start placements and stuff in the next September or the summer?
Next year, actually, like September-ish, which is really weird for a lot of programs. Like my preceptor was like, that's weird because most programs they do a placement first year.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get a feel for it because. In my opinion, the best way to learn on the learn is learning on
of course.
Job, hands-on.
Like I learned by doing.
Yeah, as a PTA, I learned how to tape people better. I learned how to do cupping therapy, IFC, TENS, muscle stim, all like therapeutic ultrasound. I learned all that on the job, and I didn't learn any of that in school.
Yeah.
And I learned exercises that I then used in kinesiology, which I learned from being a PTA, not from being that. To be fair, though, kinesiology for concussions is a little, like, unorthodox at times.
Yeah.
Sometimes one of the best things for, like, concussion recovery is aerobic exercise.
Yeah.
With that, 100%, yeah. Like, not to the point, we call it a sub-threshold heart rate. So we'll put you on a treadmill and just slowly increase your heart rate until you're like, okay, I'm starting to get symptoms, we cut it. All right, you are getting symptoms here, let's work you here. Eventually your brain will get more oxygen and help for that.
Interesting.
That's good to know.
Yeah, from my experience.
I gotta start walking on treadmill.
From my experience.
It may fix your brain damage.
No, you never know. Also, creatine, new research there. Like when I was an undergrad, I did my honors thesis in metabolism and ketones and type 2 diabetes. Yeah. But the head of the program, his name's Dr. Little, not the head of the program, but the head of the lab I was in. He was a whiz at creatine. Like, when he found out I was taking creatine, he brought me his office, like, you need to know everything about creatine. So he sat me down. There are so many benefits of it.
Wow.
What kind of dosages?
I remember when I asked you, I was like, you and Randy, I was like, hey, man, do you think I should take creatine?
And
you're like,
it's so good. Like,
and this was like 2 years ago.
Like, I take about 5 grams a day.
Yeah.
Great for the muscles, great for, and also one of the side effects is you have to drink more, so you'll be more hydrated probably if you're actually like tracking that. But like a lot of research coming out showing that it's very good at concussion recovery and increasing the creatine in the brain, which kind of helps with like when I'm not taking my ADHD medications, I rely heavily on the creatine that I take and all that, and it does help a lot more.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on creatine, when I'm on my medication, I'm way more focused, of course. But when I'm not on my medication and not on creatine compared to creatine, it's
crazy.
Night and day.
Wow.
So my focus.
And that's still just like a 5 gram dose. Is there any like diminishing return to like? Is it beneficial to take 10 or 15?
It depends what you're shooting for. So for a lot of the like brain stuff that gets done, like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, they'll up it to like 20 because of your whole body. You know, most of the energy goes to your brain, right? In general, but like some studies I've seen with Alzheimer's go to like 20 grams.
And at that point, they don't really care if any gets wasted. It's still like
exactly.
Does it also matter like your body, like how big you are? No.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but from what I've heard from most people, 5 grams a day is fine if you want to load up. So some people do like there's a ton of names.
Yeah.
Preload, whatever you want to call it, where they take 10 grams a day for the first 6 to 8 weeks just to get it kind of kickstarted. You can do that. Studies from what I've seen have said might be beneficial, but if you just keep being consistent with it every
just
day,
5.
you should be fine either way. The way that you know it's working, and this is kind of the hard selling point to, from my experience, a lot of people, because a lot of people care about the numbers and the scale. You should gain 5 to 10 pounds after about 6 to 8 weeks of being on creatine. If you haven't, and you haven't changed your diet or been sick or whatever, then if you're on creatine monohydrate, which works for the majority of people, I can't remember the other type, but go on to the other type and just be aware of some of the side effects if you're getting that. But creatine works for, I'd say, like, monohydrate, 95%. 90% of the population there, 5% is covered by creatine, etc. 5% may have no effect, or the negative side effects may outweigh the others. So,
still, though, yeah, big time, like, more recently is, like, neurological benefits, too, right?
like, there's even studies showing that might even prevent concussions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
Just cognitive function and everything.
Yeah. Cognitive function, everything. Like, I'm so much more alert being on creatine. Like I said, even without my medication.
Yeah.
I'm very high ADHD. It used to be ADHD/ADD, but now they slapped into one. But yeah, like, for years, like, and I'm the level of ADD where, like, people thought I was, like, just stupid when I was really young, because I remember I'd sit and I'd look at the board and I'd zone out looking at the board. So, it felt like I'd blink. People are like, oh, what are you daydreaming about? Nothing.
Yeah.
It feels like I blinked and time skipped. So I had times where I'd blink and, like, all of a sudden, the board, she's, like, erasing the board, and what, like, clued me back in is the bell rung.
Yeah.
Say, all right, guys, make sure. And I look down, I've taken no notes.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, but it makes a huge... I've also found other ways to kind of help with that. Meditation, little triggers I do to kind of be like, hey, stay up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's... and also, regular exercise has been huge for me. But, yeah. So, if you ever see me with my glasses on, I'm staring at a wall, feel free to give me a little poke.
Hey, it's been 25 minutes. You still using that machine?
I had one time, it was one of the more embarrassing moments in my life where basically I was a trainer in, like, the host room, and and I'm very short, obviously. So some guy was just talking with me for the longest time, and I'm just, like, completely zoned out. I didn't even know he had come up and started chatting with me. I'm just staring at, like, his chest line.
Like, hey, I'm up here.
And I never looked at his head once. And he was a tall dude, so I'm just, like, staring at his chest, completely blank. And he finally was like, dude. And I'm like, huh?
Hello?
But, yeah, no, yeah, ADHD is not always fun, but, get some good stories out of it.
What's your schedule like now? Is it a lot of class?
It really depends. So right now, this semester is a lot of, like, research and papers and stuff. So Tuesdays are actually really nice because I'll usually have, like, a Zoom course in the morning.
Yeah.
And that I'll have to, like, I'll be on, I'll do some stuff. And then sometimes my later Tuesday course is just like, here's a module, do it at some point before next week, write a little mini learning journal and do the quiz on it, so I can do that whenever.
Yeah.
Fridays are what's insane because that's our simulated. So it's usually we start at 8 and we go until you've done your simulation, you've done your charting, you've submitted it, and then you can go.
Wow.
So
Fridays.
My last one, when I was concussed to hell, and I just remember, like, I was talking with the person, I was like, using the skills I use can, hi, how are you, like, etc. And I'm just like, don't throw up on her toes, because I'm, like, super dizzy, and my head is pounding, sitting in class going, everyone shut up and stop talking about this assignment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully next one will be better. But yeah, like, I was there started at 8 a.m. I left, apparently, I don't remember leaving, but I apparently left around like 3:30, which I know isn't like a full work day or anything, but when it's all like intensive school
high
and stuff,
stress,
where you gotta just be on it and you can't forget what you talked about with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know some practitioners who they don't really chart during any of their sessions, and they'll have like 4 patients,
And they'll just
and then they'll come back and go, and I'm like, how do you remember all those details?
Wow.
Like, good on you
Yeah,
if you do.
yeah.
I could never do that because, like, but yeah,
I guess everyone's got a system, right?
Yeah.
True, yeah.
It's like, people who are, what are they, photo,
like photographic memory type shit.
Whatever.
So I'm kind of one of the dunces in my friend group back home because two of my friends, one's in med school, the other one has an interview with one, but has his master's in neuroscience. This dude got like a 97th percentile in the MCAT. So I'm like, hey, I graduated with honors. He goes, cool. I got the top mark in the entire university for this class. So if people are like, oh, you're smart, you're in a master's, you did an honors, I'm like, yeah, not when I hang out with my buddies.
Yeah. How much, like, this is kind of off topic, but not really. How much does, like, nutrition come into play with, like, you know, obviously if someone has certain ailments or injuries or whatever, it's I mean, I would never say irrelevant, but, like, just general healthcare now, or like maybe not currently, but in the you know, it's just more and more like, you know, how many people are like, how many doctors more so like I said, doctors are not like addressing the elephant in the room that, like, you know, nutrition's like the main like will cure most of their ailments that they have. Is that something that, like, A, you learn about, or B, like, you put into practice, or is it just like traditional healthcare, I think, where it's just like brushed on the rug? It's like, take that for granted.
So, first of all, I think, I'm saying this as an athlete, as a kinesiologist, nutrition is huge. If you don't have the right diet, like, it can completely screw you in so many different ways. As someone who did a ton of research for diabetes and worked with people in that research field who worked with diabetes and stuff like that, and like it's incredible how much your diet impacts your health. Like, I'm very lucky. I got no sensitivities, no nothing. My sister and my dad both have sensitivities to absolutely everything. So when they eat something wrong, it screws them. But the thing is, as an occupational or student occupational therapist, we usually we'll do like meal planning, or maybe like if you can't cook, like, okay, well, let's look at getting like HelloFresh type stuff, you know, or not even, it's like meal stuff that comes to you, Meals on Wheels. We're doing a lot of stuff right now on this. It's a bit of a touchy area because we're not really as I'm a student, but future OTs. Sorry, I need to make that clear. That we literally had a presentation day being like, do not call yourself an OT yet. I'm like, got it. But yeah, no, we're talking a lot now about something called non-sanctioned occupations, which are occupations that aren't traditionally healthy or seen as occupations, like smoking, for example. It's not our job to judge smoking from the medical model as all these negative stuff. We can't say, all right, you're done, give me the cigarettes, right? That's not our role. We're not the physician. Right. So when it comes to how they're eating, I'm not 100% sure, but... Like,
do you learn, is any of that, do you go over a full, like, nutrition?
We'll go over, we'll teach them about nutrition and try to get them on the proper path, but we can't force them. Like, for example, if someone is addicted to substances and you are their occupational therapist, the CAOT, the Canadian Alliance of Occupational Therapists, in their facts and statement sheet, you can pull it up, is we're trying to help them replace those with, quote-unquote, healthier, and I have to use quote-unquote because the whole debate, but with more productive, healthier, etc. occupations instead of that. Because, for example, if you're homeless, right, what are you doing all day? Like boredom, right? Yeah. So trying to replace that. But we can't say, like, all right, give me the drugs.
Yeah, of course.
Like, we can't say, okay, well, you have to stop this. You have to let them come to those conclusions and kind of...
It's just crazy, I guess, even how you answer the question is just, like, nothing, like, it's just crazy that, like, that's still in today's healthcare, not, like, the most forefront thing on, like, really the same thing would apply to if you go to see your family doctor. He's not going to, like, give you a meal plan as a dietitian would to, like, cure 90% of the shit you have wrong with you. It's just, like, you know, high whatever, blood pressure, cholesterol, like, here's medication, and it's still, I guess,
it's like go on a 3-day fast.
The overarching theme that it's like they're not going to, like, correct their, most specifically, nutrition, as I'm sure it'd be hard for you to just maybe not legally, but, like, under a professional standpoint.
And I just want to make it clear, like, this also for substances, because I want to make it clear, we don't just say screw you.
Right.
We are mandated to say, with this type of substance, drugs, alcohol, whatever, here are the risks you're taking. We have to make sure they know it. And same kind of thing for nutrition. We'll have to educate them on nutrition, balanced diet, things like that. And we have to be like, okay, well, here are the risks. So we have to make sure they know. It has to be their choice. So at the end of the day, you can go to wards. Oh, I forget the name of it, but it's where people who are very heavily obese, so 400 plus pounds, and some of the biggest things we see, and I was talking with a friend about it recently. You need to be willing to make that change and seek that kind of help and take that leap. Because at the end of the day, if someone tells you, "Here's your meal plan, go for it," and you're eating the meal plan, but you're also eating like 6 chocolate bars a day, well,
Well, it comes to the person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's like,
we need to empower the person to make that change.
Right.
But without their willingness, like, we can't force them to change. That's out of our scope, and also like not exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and like
I'm not gonna debate like, oh, we should like make people not smoke or not whatever, because that's not for me to say.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's almost like irrelevant too, to a certain, like, assume the person is willing to listen to you, right? Like, I guess I just draw back even further, where it's like, how many people are not even addressing, again, the elephant in the room, that like this is a thing. So then they just go to like treating. Again, I'm more so just from a health and nutrition standpoint, that like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't even address that.
Oh, no, not
let alone like assuming your patient's, willing to do what they need to do and everything. It's just, that's probably a big area.
I mean, it should be addressed though.
But across all healthcare, it's like the cliche, like, it's not a sick care, not healthcare type of thing.
Like, I think dietitians are huge. Like, I know a lot of people from my practice, from like family, from friends who've seen dietitians because they had all these issues, and dietitian was like, all right, let's take a look. Let's try this type of diet. A lot of issues cleared up. Things started improving. Like, cause people don't realize like all the stuff you're eating. All the time,
for
right?
sure.
Right.
A lot of the times, like, you look at, I don't want to be very specific here, but you look at some of the stuff that people are eating, and it's marketed as like, oh, this health food, and then you read things like, oh, 42 grams of like sugar or whatever, right? So I do think that diet is huge.
And it's just crazy that dietitians aren't like the first people
to go to
on the line to go to, I think, like, or at least work in like these, I mean, obviously they work in the clinics and stuff like that, but like, they're almost like, I don't know. I know many people that went to occupational therapists, whatever, put the whole healthcare like line up down there, and like dietitians not on that list for a lot of people to have gone to like try and figure their shit out.
I dated a girl who was she was a nutritionist for a hospital, but she was originally working to be a dietitian, then went to be an RN. It was a whole thing, but like some of the stuff like she even like taught me about nutrition. Like I was just eating stupid amounts of like carbs and stuff to bulk up, and then when I swapped over to a lot more protein and started tracking my calories and stuff, and I was able to find that I had more energy throughout the day, and it was just
crazy.
eating, and like she kind of turned me on to like, all right, track your macros and here's kind of breakdown.
Just the whole aspect of being aware of it is a win. Like, you don't even need to like. That's what people tell. Like,
it's just awareness.
You just don't know how much you're actually doing for your health when you're aware of it. Not like.
I also don't want to prop myself up as a saint, because there was like a 6-month period where I'd get green powder that was specifically made with like dehydrated, crushed up veggies. So I'm like, this way I don't have to buy vegetables. Yeah. So not exactly ideal, and I'm not without sin here, or saying that my nutrition is amazing in the standard, but yeah, I do think that dietitians should definitely be
and you don't even know when this, again, it's all just becoming aware of your intake. It's not even being like perfect or anything. People are just so unaware of what they're actually eating and what it's actually doing on their body.
Because people are just grabbing stuff and eating it without even like realizing what they're eating.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, even convenience wise, right? Just
people
just
don't give a shit.
And then it's like, once you start writing down what you eat, let's say it's like, write down what you have ate today, and then at the end of the day, you look what you ate, you're like, holy shit, I ate actually all of this shit today.
And I think the scariest thing for me is like going off that diet stuff. When I was a kinesiologist, seeing how many people were unaware of how exercising plays factor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Like this is a very biased subjective take, but when I was a kid, there was 2 huge factors that played a role, at least typically, for like turnover for patients when I was a kid. Number 1 is age.
Yeah.
As you get older, you're maturing
For
your
sure.
brain, slows down, etc. Less neuroplasticity, etc. The second one was how active you were before.
Yeah.
Because if I have to retrain your nervous system and also train brand new your cardiac and respiratory systems, get the oxygen there and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
That's a whole other thing. So being fit can help with so much. It helps with injury recovery. Helps with helps with general overall sensations. There was a study, I think it was at Berkeley or something, that showed regular exercise for like an hour or 2 a day is as effective as some of the leading antidepressants.
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like, but a lot of people don't know. Like, I had people come in to my office and they were like, okay, like, it's like, what do you do for exercise? Like, well, go on a walk once in a while, and that's about it. I'm like, okay, well, would you be willing to try out, like, maybe going on a longer walk or maybe going on a hike? Just getting that stuff, getting those reps
Or
in.
even consistency, right?
Yeah.
It's just like if they come, it's like I take a walk once a week. It's like, well, let's try twice a week.
Yeah, and
right?
not everyone. I understand. I'm very lucky that I enjoy working as much as I
Right.
do. I understand not a lot of people.
Yeah, no, totally. That's
yeah.
the people got to find out what keeps them active.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what it is. Like,
Exactly, but like I had a lot of people that I talked to for kinesiology and for some of the other stuff I did. Like I held a panel at Vernon Comic Con on like how to exercise to like bodybuild to look like your favorite like anime, whatever characters. And it was
That's
sweet.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was because I used to weight train for that. Like, because so I'd be like, okay, I'm doing Robin. Let's take a look at a Robin costume, which
I want to be the
Hulk.
Hulk.
Oh, dude. I will say, careful what body paint you get. There was one time I did a Armored Titan cosplay during all body paint during COVID. And I thought I got the non-staining one. It said non-staining, and I was pink for 3 days. I was like, I had never been more happy that school was shut down. I'm like, Zoom cameras off. Like, hell no, would you like to turn your camera on? Hell no.
trust me, you don't want that.
I'm like, I'll show you a full labor. I'm complete, like, I had red on my
That's
face,
awesome.
my arms, my abs, my stomach. Like, everything was red, and when I washed it off, it was pink. My girlfriend at the time came over. After she stopped laughing, we tried to wash it off for like 10
You're
minutes.
just going to have to wait for it to wear
Wow.
away.
But yeah, no, I taught him how to, because I used to train like, okay, I'm going to do Robin. Robin has the arm showing, pants tight, so got to work on the quads, whatever. And I had a few times where people actually commented, dude, your arm, like, your body is too bulky to be Robin. I'm like, screw you. But yeah, no, like I did Bane and Venom and stuff like that. And then that's how I used to like to train. And then
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
such a unique way to train and to look at it.
Like I had people ask me like, I want to look like,
Wolverine.
You're like, I got the perfect split for that.
Yeah, I literally took Goku as my example, and I used Goku as like, here's how if you're cosplaying Goku with this costume, you see these aspects of him are shown more in there. His pants are baggy, so you don't have to look at the legs as much. But yeah, like this is how you train for it. And I had people being like, what
That's
about like I want to
sick.
look like, what's his name from Across the Spider-Verse, the guy with the like.
I don't know. This.
Oh, yeah.
Miguel O'Hara.
Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel. He's like, oh, look at Miguel. I'm like, all right, get those traps flaring. Because he's just animated with, like, wings pretty much. But yeah.
You're not into that shit, eh? I love that stuff.
I don't watch much, like, no, not really.
Dude,
I mean, like,
I'm
the
a super
typical stuff, but.
Did you see the new Captain America?
I have not. No, I've had no time to go
No
watch it.
time.
I actually turned my, I got a little separate room that was going to make into an office. Remembered I have ADHD and can't stay at home anyways. And there's a little mini library in my thing, so, like, I'm not going to stay at home. I'll just walk downstairs. So I turned into just a little mini home theater for myself.
Oh,
but
sweet.
That's awesome.
I don't get a lot of free time between, like, this and, like, school.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and also just time difference. Like, my buddy's in Cologne, that's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, on Valentine's Day, me and one of them played Call of Duty or something, and he got off at, like, 11.
Right.
I got off at 2.
Yeah.
So it's like-
time difference.
Yeah, so I don't get a lot of time to do that.
Right.
I'd love to. Like, that's one of the reasons why I haven't... I used to do TikTok stuff. Call me cringy all you want. But, like, I used to do a ton of cosplay stuff. I've had no time. I was working 3 jobs in Kelowna in a tiny apartment, so I didn't have much time or space to use foam and stuff. And then I'm here, and I'm like, well, I got no time for myself anyways, so it's kind of all on pause. But yeah,
I don't know. This just came to me randomly. Are there more? Is it more female or male dominant, like OT?
Oh, so when I signed up, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how many students there are in my class. I want you to guess how many men there are. So it's 96 people in my class. Biggest class.
I guess I'm gonna guess because I know what's his name. A guy that went, and I think he was. Now that I say that loud, I think he was like one of the only ones. So I'm saying like less than 5.
There's 9 of us.
Really? Yeah, I knew. Actually, I did. Now that I said that and asked that question, I did.
The year before, though, you would have been right. It was 6 the year before. We're the biggest male, like we're the most males in the class.
Wow.
And it's actually funny. Like we call each other the bro tees, and I'm pretty sure this was more of a slight by someone because they were like going into physio, and I'm pretty sure they're making a kind of a teasing joke. Like, oh well, it's closer to nursing, so that's why you got all the girls. I'm like, that's not really true, but.
But
like,
is like so? What's physio or kin like?
Physio's pretty 50-50.
Yeah, is
kin, my class, I'd say 55% men's, but still pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, OT is like, like
That's
we all sit in a row and there's 9 of us and that's it. Like there's no other guys in that class.
I wonder what other subjects or like what other would be a ratio like that.
Nursing,
yeah,
and then the opposite of that. My roommate, good friend, he was an engineer, and funny enough, at UBCO, there's a massive picture of a baby chicken, and the joke is it's the only chicken engineering, which is. I think they actually took it down last year, and people
because of that
tipped it back. To be fair, that's kind of messed up, but So, but yeah, no, it's like I don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, the girls are nice and guys are nice. We're here at the end of the day to, get our degrees.
Right.
Do most of, like, the males, like, do most of the males come from, strength and, like, fitness background? Or are they kind of more by, like, book, like, I don't know, not fitness related?
Not so much. Like, I don't really want to go down and just start calling people up. But there's one other person who.
Yeah, but they're not like they don't share the same passions like you do.
Like,
for like
I have this with every single person in my class, and I'll say it to anyone who cares. If you want to go for a workout with me, I've taken a couple of the guys on workouts with me, and for Movember we raised money, and I had a purple handlebar mustache, which sucked. We raised $1,000, so I was like, screw it, whatever, it's for charity. But one of the things I had was I made one of the girls a workout plan because I still have a kin license. So I just made her a little workout plan for free as a random draw thing. But open invitation, anyone can work out with me. You want to work out with me, you message me. I don't care. Like, I'll go, as much as I dislike the Western gym, I'll go to the Western gym with you. Or we can stop at Good Life and do a drop-in, whatever, and, work out. I've had about 5 people take me up on it.
Weird though. Like I asked that because again, you would be the or people that are into that would see the massive correlation in just the profession in general. That
you think so, but people mostly see that with physio more than anything. Physio is a lot more like manual muscle stuff, and like they're
understanding what's going on and like kind of understanding by way of your personal.
They're dry needling and they're like, doing some massage and manual muscle manipulation. We're more like, all right, we're more taking care of your basic needs.
Yeah.
All right, let's make sure you can walk around. Let's make sure you can sit on the toilet and not get stuck for 3 days type thing.
Yeah.
But, I think there is a few athletes among the group, which one of my professors is shaking from UBCO is shaking his head because he defines athlete only as those who are, like, top level. You're either getting paid or you're, like, actively competing. But I use that term loosely because whatever, athletes.
Or just like being athletic.
Yeah,
being athletic. Not having to be an athlete.
Like everyone's in good. I'm not saying everyone's out of shape. But I'm saying like no one shares. Like no one comes to the gym as often. As
yeah.
Right.
To be fair, maybe I'm a little on the manic side with it, but like I've only had 5. In class 96, I've had 5 people take me up on the offer.
Interesting.
I will work out with you. I will give you an incredible workout. set a time, whatever. I've had 5 people take me up, and only one has actually come back for second, and that's it. Because you want to work out, and I'm like, okay, how tough do you want? He says, throw your worst at me. Okay.
Yeah, you may regret that.
Like one of our new members, I won't say his name. I know him actually through OT. He's not in OT, but he's related to that. But I took him for a back workout the other day, and he texted me yesterday morning and goes, "My fucking lats are on fire."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'll work you hard if you want to work out with me, but. Yeah, just not a lot of people like take me up on it, which that's fine.
Yeah, that's all right. I get that a lot too, where it's like, don't go down this rabbit hole of like try and keep up type of thing, but people underestimate too what different people's thresholds are. It's like if one of the 10 people who want to come join, jump in for a workout, make it through it, that's a win.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, if you need to take a break, you need to stop. Just be honest with me.
Totally.
Like, one of the things that drives me nuts and from just previous experience working out people, if you are, like, in pain or, like, you're completely gassed, just tell me.
Yeah, totally. It's not like you don't have anything to prove. It's like
you being put the ego aside, right?
Learning
we
stuff
are
is...
in the gym to better ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't care if you do 10 reps of that or 20.
Yeah.
Right.
We're here to just lift weight, get better, and, like...
Yeah.
This isn't competition.
No.
Yeah.
Like... I don't want you going and puking in the corner over there. Like,
yeah. So when you go, like, you're talking about, like, panels, other people, or, like, even why you're here, like, do you have certain things that you want to talk about? Or is it kind of like just the shit that we've been talking about?
We've been talking about a lot of this stuff. Like, I think the major reason for the advocacy hours, and I can't say for certain, and I actually haven't asked them, like, because, I don't really want to go up and ask the professor, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, well, this makes sense, advocacy, etc., and we learn. I think one of the reasons is if I were to ask you before a day, hey, what's OT? You'd probably be like, the amount of times
I've been
like, oh, they're like, what are you in school for? Oh, occupational therapy. What is that?
Yeah.
And so, like, literally, our very first assignment was make an elevator pitch in 2 sentences or less. So my elevator pitch that I use for the professional side is occupational therapy is a type of therapy that allows you to return anything you want to do, need to do, or have to do within the limitations that you are experiencing. So, and this could be temporary, like if you broke both your arms, okay, let's get some grabbers for you so you can reach stuff without whatever, if both your arms are in cast. Maybe get you a bidet, things like that. So you get to be a little creative with it. But it's only temporary, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's more permanent, like an amputation, okay, let's look at some modifications, prosthesis, etc. So it's such a wide gap, but one that I really like, which I just don't think flies that great, because everyone knows physiotherapy, right? And when I asked initially, like, to a friend of mine who was going in physio 5 years ago, or say OT, because I had no idea what OT was 5 years ago, I was like, what is occupational therapy? And he goes, you know how physiotherapy returns you to normal? Occupational therapy brings you to a new normal, which I think is such a good part of the profession.
Yeah.
We're here to help you within those limitations. But, advocacy hours could be anything. I sent you that text, and you were like, oof. But, yeah, it's anything that's related to it. So, like, the health stuff we've been talking about, what is it? It's such a huge, broad category. Like I said, we do everything from mental health, pediatric, palliative. Like, there's such a broad category on it. It's hard to just kind of nail down what we do. Because you can have one occupational therapist who's a hand therapist who just works on hands all day.
And that's all he specializes on.
Specialize.
Yeah,
I guess we can't specialize.
You can't technically specialize. But you can be a hand therapist or whatever. But yeah, so one who does that. You could have another who does forensics and psychotherapy. You could have another who works on kids under 2. So it's just such a broad topic.
Is it something in the future that you will be able to, like, diversify and, like, specialize in, do you think? Or is it like is it something that's new within the last, like, 10 or 20 years? It's not really? It's just
not really new. It's just we kind of put ourselves in boxes kind of with our profession. Because, like, if you have an everything OT clinic, and I think they do exist, but, like, that's a bit harder to kind of go through than, like, okay, well, you have one for palliative, for et cetera. So when you're working as an OT, you're working as an OT in a place that does this. It's
okay.
And I think what we have is fine. I don't see a need to be like, you are a pediatric OT, you're a geriatric OT. I think I'm an OT who works in this.
Yeah, I guess it would be more from the practitioner standpoint of
exactly.
like wanting to like, you know, be sharp on one thing. It's not necessarily like wouldn't be like a job requirement. Like you said, if someone wanted to open up their own practice and just specialize in something, that would be hard. I feel, because you can't like draw that label of being specialized. I don't know, maybe I'm focusing on that too much, but I just find that like if you have a passion or something that like you really something in one way or another affected your life, like, you know, head trauma or something like that, and that's just something you really loved, it would seems like it would be difficult to really like
to go to, right?
label yourself as that person would be tough because just of the limitations. But I guess as a whole, it's probably for the better all the way around. But
well, like when I was a kid, we can't really specialize, but like I worked almost exclusively for one of my jobs with concussions.
Yeah.
But I could do everything else because
Yeah.
I was
Right.
a kinesiologist. But I did also have special training in like neurological rehab and cognitive rehab and things like that. So
is it something like once, like even OTs, once they're OTs, do they go, I'm sure, in just like further education on certain, like, would you go to a seminar that is talking specifically about one thing just to like, obviously, you know, increase your own pedigree type of thing?
For sure. And also there is continuing education. Mandates. Like when I was a kid, I had to have 20 hours a year in which I had to be able to prove of courses,
additional information,
stuff to show like, hey, I'm not just sitting down doing nothing, and I'm not just stagnant, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually sitting here like working to get better, and but it's an ever-growing, you should always be learning, always be.
Yeah, of course, just as any professional would want to.
Yeah.
Is it like reading? Do you have a reading week?
I get like a reading week in March, and then I get like a week break in. So I kind of have a weird term. So like end of like last week of April, I get off.
Yeah.
And then I restart in May for 2 months, and then I get like 2-ish months off, which I'm looking at working during that time around here, and then we restart all over again. So it's all right. Everyone else is on reading break right now.
Yeah, that's why I asked that.
It
That's
was
so weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I show up to school and I actually like checked my email for watching. I was like, is it cold enough that they canceled school again? Which, by the way, that almost never happens in Calgary.
Well, don't even get me. I got a 5-year-old in school right now, and it's like it's so silly how much they cancel. I mean, whatever. If, at the end of the day, it's for safety, blah blah blah.
Right.
But like, it's crazy. I'm like, it's sunny and the roads are like
Dry.
So I'm sure it takes a lot. But on the other side, these guys are like.
Safety,
it's supposed to snow this afternoon. Let's cancel school today. Whereas, like when I was growing up, it was like
there was no school.
if you had a snow day, that was like the whole city had shut down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I remember in Calgary, there was times where it's like, all right, jeans, snow pants, t-shirt, sweater, like, and we'd come out and we'd literally be like, walking backwards against the wind because you can't see type thing.
Right.
Like, and also Calgary is like notoriously like.
Bitter
weird
cold.
weather. Well, here's the thing: Calgary gets colder. I hate the cold here way more because it eats through your layers.
Yeah.
In Calgary, if it's -30, it's -30, but you layer up enough to
Right.
warm. Here, if
It
it's
just soaks.
-20, it feels like -30, and your layers are gonna last you about 20 minutes for you're frozen regardless. So it's like, it's hard to plan. But yeah, no. I remember one time, me and a buddy of mine trudged through almost like just snow all the way to school. Found out that they had actually canceled school that day, but they couldn't let us leave for safety now.
So
So we're like, you're kidding me. So we used to just sit there and like there's one teacher who's like actually trying to be like, class. Everyone's like, go away. There's 3 of us here. And then by lunch, like they were like I showed up with snow pants, snow jacket, etc. I left everything in my backpack. And I'm walking and it's muddy like crazy and it's sunny out.
Yeah.
So like Calgary weather just like those Chinooks just don't make sense. But yeah,
That's funny.
no, there's a lot of different things that I've seen through rehab and stuff that, like when I was a rugby AT, I saw so much.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've seen, like,
Crazy.
And if I were to be a doctor, I'd want to be a trauma surgeon for that reason, because I've kind of proven myself. I can run up to something disgusting and be like, okay, get to work.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was one time where we had a player had a head-on collision. Massive cut under his eye, massive cut. And I was the junior. And I look over at my senior. I'm like, all right, so you're the first one. And I look over, he's like,
white.
And I'm like, you're going to sit there and hand me things, and I'm like, all right, I'll hold it, you stitch it. And I look like, oh, hand me the butterfly stitches, sit there. The best comment I ever got as an AT was that guy went to the hospital, and doc told him, like, you need to go, like, hug whoever did this to you, because they saved you from a massive scar. But, like, I'm used to the blood, the guts, whatever. I was a boxer, and I'd get covered in blood. I had times where there's a few times I walked in the car and my mom actually, like, screamed, like, oh my gosh, we have to go to the hospital. Like, no, don't worry, the blood, half of it's not mine.
It's the other guy.
Half of it's not mine.
The other guy.
You should have seen the other guy. He also has another black eye, just on the other side. But yeah, no.
Some people are good with that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not that I've ever, like, I'd be pretty composed in those whenever that, like, shit's happen. But yeah, some people know they don't have certain like thresholds for gore, call it.
We had a positive drawer test, if you know what that is, on a knee. Basically, you take the knee and you kind of push down on it to see if the ACL is give.
Yeah.
The guy fully tore his ACL. Yeah. Like, I remember running up to him and I kind of put my fingers on his knee and I literally pushed my fingers back. It was like a balloon getting filled. It was so much fun. And a few weeks later, there's a couple other student ATs in there, and the head guy's like, all right, anyone want to feel this? One girl does it, and, like, she feels it, and it goes almost white.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, it's a good thing you're a volleyball trainer. Yeah, and I was dealing with concussions even then, like, bi-weekly. Like, it's insane, those guys. Those guys are so damn tough.
Yeah.
Those rugby guys.
Yeah. Well, it's even in, like, have this as an open invite. You should, like, put stuff on your radar that you think would be, like, whether it's, like, industry or, like, certain case studies that happen, or, like, because it'd be cool. It gives you a reason to, like, add to your hours, but, like, to come back and talk about, like, certain things, or, like, changes, or, like, I don't know, like I said, if something is published that's, like, really cool and, like, groundbreaking and stuff.
If you guys want to read some papers that are going to make you kind of, like, sit down and think about, like, what we define as occupations, we recently did 2 of these, and they're super interesting. One, I can't remember the full name to save my life, but it's like forbidden fruit smoking with COPD as a meaningful occupation. So it's based on about how these people they have COPD, and they're still smoking.
Yeah.
But it's part of their identity, being a smoker, and it's how they plan their day, and it's how all these things, and it's super interesting to look at, because you look at that, and, like, from just kind of like a baseline medical model, most people look at that, and, I'm going to generalize here, but we'll probably look at that and go, shouldn't we just say, hey, give me the cigarettes?
Yeah.
But it's super interesting. And then the other one was I drink, I can't remember the name, I'll send it to you, but it's about mothers in South Africa who drink heavily during pregnancy, because that's almost normal there.
Yeah.
Like, you drink, like, you don't drink, you don't have friends. And it goes all the way back to, like, culture that was instilled due to I think it's called the DOP system, where it's like, you work for me, I don't have money to pay you, so I'm going to give you insanely high ethical content alcohol. And you work for that. So you work, you get a ball, and you drink, and then that got banned, but it's still kind of like, there's even things there, like drinking friends, where you just meet people to drink. And I was reading on it, and it was super, like, to me, with the, like, Western view and stuff, being like, wow, like, these ladies are saying, like, I wanted to stop, but also, like, I want to have friends.
Yeah.
Like that means,
because
here you think, like, if you saw your friend and she's pregnant drinking, you'd probably be like, hey, like,
yeah,
we
like, got an issue.
Hey, we got an issue, or like, you, like, if your friend said, hey, I'm gonna stop drinking, chances are you'd be like, yeah, fine, like, good on you, man. But there, it's like, oh, you don't drink, bye, like,
instantly
so
cut out.
Those are 2 articles I highly recommend, and it was kind of eye opening, maybe, like, oh wow, like these are like actually meaningful people, even though it's there. And then it's that balance of like, we need to reduce harm reduction and try and, we need to try and get them to do healthier stuff that will probably have less health impacts. But at the same time, we can't.
Totally. It's just a matter of making them,
I can't only get so many hours on podcasts, but I'd be more than happy to jump on. There's so much I could talk.
Whatever,
I could be here for hours. Telling
if
you
there
about
is, like, you know, this
the concussion, metabolic stuff, like whatever you guys want.
We should, like, definitely, like, even whenever it is, you know, like, if you leave that to you to, like, kind of, because it would be cool to have even if it's something for us to read before, so obviously we can know what you're talking about and stuff. Or not saying that we'll know what you're talking about, but at least like reference what you're talking about. Like, right. You guys, you gotta send him the audiobook because he won't read shit. But you know, like that'd be cool. It's like gives us like I mean,
because it's interesting.
Yeah, for sure, and it's like real life stuff. And if you know, have some agenda for like certain topics and like to dig into, it'd be cool for sure.
I'd love to, and like just kind of advocating for that, like occupational therapy. Like like I said, a lot of people don't know what we do, and they don't know like.
Just spread the message, right?
Yeah. It'd be cool. I'm just throwing this out there too. Like, you never know. It's one of those things at the right place, right time, right person. Even to have someone like, not even a patient, but someone from a patient perspective to come in.
Oh yeah,
you know, like that again. That's right place, right time. It's got to like present
and also that's
itself.
not something I could probably press because that's breaking confidentiality.
No, for sure.
But like, no, I 100% agree. Like, there are a lot of testimonials out there, and I do think that occupational therapy can help so many people on so many levels. Like, I honestly, as a kid, I wish I referred to OT more because I knew generally what they could do, but now learning about it in depth, I wish like I sent more people to them.
And is that like, is it something that's generally covered by insurance?
It depends. So here in Ontario, usually you need a physician referral to get it covered, and it can be kind of messy. So like if it's a car accident, then I don't know what your guys' version of it, but like we have ICBC, International Insurance Company of BC, pretty much.
It'd be like OHIP.
Sure. Right? I don't know what your guys
whatever your
guys' provincial car insurance is. Work Safe, Veterans Affair, but like the only one I know for 100% is I think it's ADP or something. Your guys' provincial healthcare. Like if you need a walker or a wheelchair, one of the two, I think it's wheelchair. 75% of that will be covered under ADP. You just got to pay the last 25. If you're a veteran, then ADP will typically cover 75, and then the last 25 will be covered by veterans. And then certain other injuries or companies like WorkSafe, sometimes provincial will actually be like, hey, you pay, which was a bit of a big issue that I experienced as a kid that was really eye-opening.
Is it any, like, is what you do and or like your patients or cases like preventative health? It's all kind of once something's happened, right? Like I couldn't necessarily go to like, again, if you have an awesome doctor, like it kind of by the gist I'm getting, it's like I couldn't go to him and be like, hey, I'm just trying to like better me.
Yeah.
Like I want to go talk to this person, whereas like, if you had something else, like, I don't know, throw in another example where you'd get like a recommendation for, that would be a tough conversation to have as far as like them being, because I guess what I'm saying is like, a lot of it's not preventative like maintenance or like anything like that. It's when something's already happened or something's already aroused. It's
a really unfortunate thing. I do want to say I'm not 100% sure on the provincial coverage for everything in OT. In an ideal world, I'll have that covered, but I just want to say I think it is, but I could be wrong. But not much preventative stuff I've seen, at least in class. There is some stuff like, oh, you have this condition, but you need something to kind of kickstart that.
Yeah.
Like, even when I was a kinesiologist, I was thinking, like, there are so many people who I see just in, like, my daily life who I'm like, you would benefit so much from seeing a kinesiologist. Like, mobility, your general health. But typically, and again, I'm not a professional, it's just my own personal opinion, our, like, healthcare model isn't really set up preventatively. For the
Yeah,
most part.
well,
It's-
that's where
yeah,
I was kind of like.
it is hard. Like I remember there was some talks about kinesiology, like the BC College of Kinesiology or something. I don't know if this was a rumor or true, but working on some sort of deal with an insurance company for preventative stuff. So we'd come down to the work site, maybe host like a workout, or we'd be like, all right, once a week you can have an hour off your shift and come work out with the kinesiologist, whatever.
I just see that being
huge.
so much more beneficial than like, again, this is nothing against us like RMTs or massage therapists, stuff like that,
course.
but like those, like how many people go to them out of like probably a large portion of their clients are from just preventative maintenance and like, injuries, whereas like people seek that out. They're not necessarily referred out to by a like healthcare provider, but like I feel like a lot of those type of people that really are seeking like this, whatever it is, structural re-engineering or like mobility, strength training, like how many people would benefit from actually seeing an OT versus just going to a massage therapist that like really they're not going to fix their problems, unless obviously there are RMTs and stuff like that are, really love what they do, but probably most of them are just like, giving you a massage, so to speak. So
I mean, I don't want to talk bad about our RMTs or assume that, but like, I do agree that we need some more preventative stuff.
Yeah, and it's not even the RMT's fault.
No.
It's more so like people don't have that option to go see an OT that's like relatively easy to go just like see what's up and go for this preventative maintenance kind of aspect.
To be fair, OT is like a lot of the physical stuff, at least that is a lot more like after the fact. So like, we wouldn't, if you're completely able-bodied, we wouldn't modify your home. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's no point putting
for sure,
like a shower seat in your bathtub if you're completely capable, no balance issues of doing that. Unless you want to do it yourself, but like we wouldn't go and do that. But I think there may be some options for that where it could be used preventatively. I can't think.
Maybe not. I guess thinking of just like all the wealth of knowledge that OTs would have would be so applicable.
Oh yeah.
Outside of the like, accommodating your home for said injury or whatever it is.
Yeah. No. Funny enough, I gotta talk about stuff to not talk about. And sorry, off topic. We haven't hit any of those, so we're good. But yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like, I do think that in our medical model, preventative medicine would be huge. Like, you look at how much our healthcare spends on diabetes, obesity is I'm not sure if it's second or first, but when I took the course, it was the second highest killer in Canada following cancer. And a lot of cancer is linked to obesity because when you have higher amounts of adipose tissue, adipose is inflammatory.
Yeah.
So kind of preps your muscles, and if you're in a constant state of inflammation, from my understanding of it, it could lead to cancer and make you more susceptible to those DNA mutations that lead to cancer.
Well, it's like so many people too, maybe not now, but over like the following years and decades, like more people, like sure, there's obviously a ton of people that can't, don't have the luxury of like financially going out of their way to do preventative things or look after the health, but there also is a lot of people that like are willing more than ever now, I'm sure, to spend money on their health and longevity and all this. So it's just kind of, that's I guess the view that I'm coming from, of like hopefully things are like slowly changing, but that like slowly.
No, I think investing in yourself is always a bet, and I do agree. Like when I was training, so I at one point attempted to break a BC record for deadlift. I think actually my trainer upped it to Canadian record for Strongman deadlift. And when I was prepping for that and after, I had like 3 months left in my contract, and I had like 8 months worth of benefits. I used all that stuff. I was chiro, massage, all that stuff to like get me prepped for it. And if you want to know how it went, I got a PR of 505, and then I kind of knew, I was like, I'm kind of gassed, and my nervous system's freaking out. I went to do it. I remember lifting the bar up slightly. I remember my body going limp, and then my body shooting out straight because it just spasmed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God. But, so, like, I do think that preventive medicine's huge, but it's so, like, you look at the average cost of, like, a chiro.
Totally.
$80 an hour, $80 for, like, one session.
Yeah,
type stuff, right?
if that.
If that.
Like
If
normally
RMT
that's
100,
cheap, you know.
Yeah. So like, you have all this stuff. Let's say you get RMT twice a week and Chiro twice a week, and they're all $100. That's $400.
Oh yeah,
like, I can't afford that. Like,
no.
I dropped my. I was like, are you sure you're gonna drop your Good Life thing? Like, like you have it on such a cheap thing. 'Cause I got it with a student discount, with a kinesiologist discount, and like during one of their promotions.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone else is spending like, I think like maybe $100 a month.
Yeah.
Something 80 to 100.
Yeah.
I'm spending 60. I'm like, yeah, well this one's 110, and then that's 170. So like I need a bit of wiggle room, and then like belts and stuff like.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why are you so like cautious when you walk out to go work out here? I'm like, well, in my bag I got my SPD knee sleeves, SPD whatever. I'm wearing my belts because someone could just rip that off. I have a support belt now. I got these shoes on, which are about $350. Like I've got almost $1,500 worth of gear on my back. So like it's an expensive thing to invest in yourself.
For sure.
I think it's worth it, and I mean at the end of the day, you gotta decide what is most important to you, because no one's gonna force you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like what got me into lifting heavy was like personally, I used the heartbreak stuff. Like I know a lot of other people did. Some people start it for health. So if you can find that spark, that's huge. And like I talk with everyone I go with. Chances are there's gonna be days where you don't want to do it. You have to find ways to make it enjoyable. One of the things I do is I have Rice Krispie treats whenever I come here. I literally have a box, and this isn't going to be very nice to myself, but I always write a little sign that says, "For training only, fat ass."
Yeah.
So, and I can only touch those when I'm going to go training, or like pre-workout's delicious, and I may have a slight caffeine addiction, so
You know what's funny about segue into caffeine? I've been having my first coffee of the day at like 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it is like astounding how much better that is.
Really?
Like I trust me, because
For you?
Yeah.
Really?
He's like getting defensive. No, but honestly, like I'll come in at say 6,
right?
And I'll get a coffee on my way in, and by 6:30 I'm done that coffee.
Yeah.
And I've noticed without a doubt that like the last 2 or 3 weeks I haven't got one. Honestly, it's almost like an addiction as far as like habit.
Right.
Like it feels weird, like I need this. But I've actually gone 2 or 3 weeks now not having it, and like waiting to later in the morning.
And
I've even I have zero, like it. I have more energy at 6:37, 8, 9 than when I take, like it is a typical, like you have your caffeine just to like have this weird little hit, and then you kind of just get tired until you like have a pre-workout later in the day or something. I don't know. I've been noticeably like more energy in the morning for longer if I don't have a coffee than just having it basically straight out of bed.
Okay.
Well, I wait usually. I mean, I don't have my first coffee until when I get back home, so 7:30, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Or even earlier.
Wait till 10.
Wait till 10 to have a coffee.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm kind of stuck right now.
I don't even know the last time I did that.
You won't even notice a difference. You're going to be like, "Oh, I'm expecting to feel tired, but I'm not."
If you just like taste good, decaf and just,
True. Yeah. Try that. That's a good point, actually. I do like taste. Maybe I could, because now you're just going back to that like habitual thing of like the taste and the routine in the morning. But you should try it.
Yeah, I will say I'm kind of jealous because my just with my ADHD meds, I avoid caffeine until if I'm on my meds, like I don't take them every day, just big days. I have to avoid till like noon typically, because like that stuff makes my heart go, and like I've had times I've been sitting in class, I'm like, yeah, heart rate resting 110, cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I mistimed my caffeine or whatever, right? And also sometimes I just go too hard on it, but yeah, like caffeine is, I love that stuff, but also
I think
if you ever take a week off it, it will hit you like a freight train.
Well,
Really?
like there was a couple days where like I didn't have it, and I definitely got like some headaches and stuff, but it didn't last very long. And I'm not going like, it's not like I'm cutting caffeine out.
Right.
It's more so just waiting, and then but if I do, then I even if I have a smaller coffee, like in the early afternoon, like you're just for the rest of the day, if you have coffees, you're just chasing that. Like, I don't feel like you get any. Like, if you have a third coffee at 2 o'clock, you're not like getting energy for the afternoon. It's just
it's just.
Whereas
for me, it's a habit.
When I wait, then I can have one in the afternoon, and I'm like, oh, this did like work, you know, as far as a caffeine effect, but.
Yeah, but the last few days or whatever, it's just like you just have my coffee in the morning, and then usually I've been just having like teas or in the
you know what?
afternoons.
I never thought of that. I'm gonna go decaf.
Yeah.
Just like,
But
because I do like it.
Does the tea have caffeine
It
in it?
depends on what tea you like.
Peppermint tea?
Yeah.
Maybe, probably. But like Earl Grey has a ton of caffeine if you don't get the decaffeinated version.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm talking about decaf coffee.
A lot of teas have
Right,
caffeine.
but I'm just saying. I'm aside that. I'm asking about the tea in general.
A lot of teas do have caffeine in them, which is why you gotta be careful when like you get a tea, like what's caffeinated, what's not. It's like I was seeing this girl for a little while, and she loved chamomile tea, so I got some.
Dude, I'm drinking one right now.
Really?
Yeah. So does that have caffeine in it?
How do you
I don't
spell
know.
chamomile?
If you have the package on you, we can check. But
I don't have the cabbage. No, I don't.
It could like the chamomile.
But it's
I
like,
had, I think,
dude,
had
I'll
caffeine.
go.
How do you
I'll go
spell
home
it?
and I'll go. CAMILE.
Spelling with
MINE.
muscle heads.
I don't know. Dude, I'm an ESL student, bro.
Yeah, I'm a master's student, but in OT, we measure you to see how your walker works.
Did you get it?
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think this is naturally caffeine free.
Oh, okay.
Chamomile.
I don't know. That's weird though, because when I started
It's
having
like, bro, I'll
chamomile-
drink this shit and I'll
was
go to
waking up.
sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was having chamomile tea, and I was like, I'm wide awake. But then again, like my sleep schedule's screwed, which is bad. But like I try, and I don't know what's going on. Some days, like ever since I moved here, there are some days I'll just wake up
Yeah.
and be like, oh, it's probably like 6 a.m, time to get up. Like this morning, I don't know what the hell happened with my brain. I woke up to and I was like, oh, my alarm went off. Time to get up. Time to get going. Like I got my clothes out. I got like
What was it,
I
3
brushed my
a.m.?
teeth. It was like 4 or 5:30, like 4:35 in the morning. I'm like, well, if I go back to bed now, my alarm's at an hour, so there's an hour of sleep I missed. And like I've done a few. I have a bad habit of once in a while, like I'll like be picking. So I listen to ASMR stuff when I sleep, and I've accidentally fallen asleep with it, like pointing at my face, and someone will text me, and like concussion, like the night of the U.S. selection, which we won't get into politics. It's one of the things that I don't really want to touch on, just because it's super messy. But the night that like Trump got in office and that was the election called, I fell asleep texting someone, and my phone was on my face. And I had 3 separate people with my phone on my face message me at like 1 a.m, wherever, going, "Did you see the news?" I'm like, what just?
Yeah.
So I knew Trump won the minute it happened because I got flashbanged awake. But yeah, no, sleep and caffeine is so huge. I think.
Do you sleep well?
I sleep okay. I wake up a lot, but
That's weird, man. Like sometimes I think I could have a coffee or like.
Yeah, that's my
energy
point. Because
But then it's like, and then I'll go to
junkie.
sleep,
it's
bro.
probably because you're like
That's my point of this whole caffeine thing. Don't take it in the morning for a week. Have one in the early, like midday or whatever, and then we'll have one at 5 o'clock. You'll be wired till midnight.
Trust me when I say, like, after I went way too hard on my finals. Like, way too hard on my finals. I took a thing of Ghost, like, Legends, and I still have it in my locker as my emergency pre. And straight up, like, I'll go away. Spam, straight up, like, I was, like, double scooping that. Like, I was going back to it 3 times. That's
Totally, man.
and
That's like
that's like 360 per scoop,
Yeah.
so it was like 1,000 milligrams a day. So I took a week off. Like, when I went to my dad's, I was just like, no caffeine. I think maybe I had one, like, Bruce, if you know what it is. I love those things. Like, once a day, so like 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I came back and, like, my first energy drink, wide awake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because you get desensitized to
All
it.
Big
right,
time.
all right,
Like,
all
there-
right.
Well, you'd probably have 5,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
No.
Have you ever been cut off of a Tim's before?
No, what do you mean?
I got cut off at Tim's one time in my undergrad.
They're like, sir,
What?
we've given you 30 espressos today.
So here's what happened. So
you're served.
the rule was for like the finals, you can't have like more than your 3 finals can't be within like a 48-hour period. If so, you can ask to defer.
Yeah.
I was just outside of everything, so in like 5 days, I had 4 finals, all of which were my hardest, and like they were right at the start. So I got like 4 or 5 days of like break to study for some of the hardest files that were like pages and pages. So I got to the campus, and Tim's just opening up. I walk in, I get an extra large coffee, 2 milks. I walk into the ADHD proof room thing that I got access to. I finish an hour later. My friend comes and says, "Hey, I'm going to get a coffee. Do you want to put our bags down and go?" "Yeah, sure." Go get another one. Like, this is an hour later. And then one other person joined. I got another coffee with them because I'd finished the other one. By like 12:31, I walk up and the girl goes, "Just so you know, this is your last one." I go, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "For your safety, we're not going to serve you anymore." I had like 7 extra large coffees, and I got there at like 7 or 7, 8, something like that. I don't remember the exact time, but it was like a 5-ish hour stretch.
Yeah.
Like, I had enough caffeine. They're like, "No." I was sitting there, I'm like vibrating.
Yeah.
And like, I had a great study session. Horrible time on the toilet later, but you know, but yeah, no, caffeine can screw you up. And I never touched caffeine for the longest time. Like, I only started in like grade 12 or end of grade 11 when I was stressed about my exams, and my friend said, "Have a coffee, you'll focus better." But like, I never touched it, so that's still kind of new to me.
Well, it's crazy how much, like, go back to the pre-workout stuff. It's like some of these pre-workouts, you know, having a supplement store and stuff. It's like, you know, you're setting people up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's if you have 400 milligrams of caffeine and like what people perceive to be a full scoop, meanwhile full scoop's only.
Is that
like
the main ingredients of the pre-workouts? Is caffeine? That's what they're driven on.
There's a lot of stuff. L-citrulline, isoleucine.
Yeah.
What's the biggest one?
What is that's like
It
saying? That
depends.
doesn't even.
I guess what
Like,
you're
different ones have
thriving
different
for.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you
No,
get
that's like
L-citrulline.
saying.
I want a pre-workout that has the most caffeine in it.
Yeah, that would be a junkie would come in and say that.
I can't even say. I have one pre-workout that I only recently was able to find it at Spartan Nutrition, but there's a warning label on it that says for experienced users only. I'll bring it in if we do a scan. It's called Pump Addict Max. And,
yeah, those ones. Pump Addict. It's insane.
It's so
It's stupid.
It's
Believe
like,
makes those ones that are like that, and they're like half a scoop is the serving size, right? So throw that out the window. Assume people are gonna think a full
do one
scoop,
scoop, yeah.
and it's 600 milligrams of caffeine in one 10-gram scoop.
Pretty much every high stim pre-workout to soften the blow. If you actually read the facts, almost every single one I've looked at, whether it's Rise, Ghost, etc. Actually, I'm not sure on Rise, but Ghost and like Believe, it's half a scoop.
Yeah, because that's how they get through it.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Oh, it's not that bad. It's pretty high, but like one scoop of that stuff is like 400 something.
Oh, I'm sure more.
And 2,200 milligrams of non-caffeine stimulants.
Yeah. That's 100%, and it's
Like-
probably more than that. I have one downstairs, I think, and it's like 250 per half scoop, and that's just a caffeine stim.
Like,
And so,
Like,
yeah.
I'll feel bugs. Like, I have a high caffeine tolerance. I'll have bugs running through my skin when I do that. Everyone's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, so many things." That's besides the point, anyways. Yeah, no. But, yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff.
All right, so I should stop caffeine then.
no, I'm not saying stop it. I'm just saying wait till like push it back an hour. The next day, push it back 2 hours, and then like at 10, like you'd be surprised.
All right.
There's 2 routes of thought here. Either,
You can't help people that don't want to be helped.
The other route of thought is, hey, heart's a muscle too. You got to train until failure. So,
Yeah, until it fails.
yeah, I've my
Yeah, okay. I'm sitting with 2 caffeine addicts here.
my
So
I joke and I go, yeah, my life expectancy is probably 24. I'm 25. But no, I don't know. I don't know. It
Man, I
helps.
just like my coffee in
but
the morning,
thing,
man.
right?
That's
you
all
have
I
to figure
like.
out how to live life with that. obstacle. So that's where OT comes in.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
hey,
bring it back.
you don't need 600 milligrams of caffeine, but if we're gonna do it, we better have somewhere for you to pass out afterwards. Because here's a pillow. We're gonna set it down here.
Oh my gosh!
And a handrail in case your hands are too fucking stable. That's where OT's come in.
You ever see me shake though?
What?
I've never shaken though. You've never seen me shake.
Really?
No.
Oh, we live different lifestyles.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling. I'll say that. I definitely have overdone it, but like for me, like if I'm studying, like for my finals last term, I kind of commandeered a classroom that wasn't being used. Brought my own whiteboard markers. I looked like a crazy person. That entire whiteboard was covered in notes.
Yeah.
I was like going in, erasing random stuff, filling in words, and like I was like just shaking on caffeine. So I've definitely overdone it, and I don't recommend anyone do the stuff I do. But I also,
I keep it moderate. I mean, I'm not.
Look, he's getting defensive now.
You probably look good compared to me and my caffeine stuff.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I am like I do have non-stim calf like pre-workout. I want to preface that by
It just
saying,
hasn't been opened yet.
I use a scoop today and it's great, like the pump stuff. But also like one of the issues I'm having is my apartment's getting packages in my apartment is a nightmare because if it's from like Amazon or whatever, there's no like buzzer right now because like it only opened in like July.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a buzzer or anything to let someone into the doors to put the package. So I either have to be there and have them like call me so I can go walk down, let them in, or just get lucky and someone else has a package same time they come in and do it. But like I've had times where I'm like, hey, I promise there's nothing fragile in it. Can you please just chuck it over the fence? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Or like, because like I'll have to strategize when I'm buying stuff off Amazon for my place.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but I love the place. It's an incredible place to live, and I'm sure they're gonna fix that soon once the parking garage goes up. At least I've been told that. But like, it's a very nice place. I got a steam room, which I
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love a sauna at Showtime.
Oh,
Just,
trust
no, I'm
me.
kidding.
No, it's in the back of the head somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a long shot, but you never know. I mean, there's been longer shots about things wanting to be done around here that eventually have happened. So
one day
that'd be cool. Yeah, one day.
Showtime's forced me to grow up quite a bit, as in all the Strongman stuff is meant for heavyweights, and I'm a featherweight.
Yeah, that thing's fucking crazy. Eh? That new
the log.
Yeah,
I love that thing.
But the new one, like the wood ones,
It's
like
217.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
awesome. I
did
love
you try
it.
that?
No,
shit?
I can't even move it out of the corner.
I had to.
I'm like, what the hell are we doing
And
here,
people
guys?
actually put weights on that shit.
My goal is 250, but hold on, I got a video of me doing it. But when I had to get a tutorial on how to like move it because I tried to pick up like the other one where you like slide.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this thing, so Ryan sent me a tutorial and learned how to move it, and I got it the next day. And I love lifting stuff. I jokingly say the law of the short
Holy
strongman.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is if it's taller than me, it has to be lifted.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think I can do
Dude,
that
I can't
shit.
even move that thing. I'm like, Ryan, fucking put this thing back where it should be, because if you don't, then no one else is going to be able to put it. No, I'm just joking. Ryan's awesome. I don't mean that.
Great.
But it's like, seriously, I'm like, even those bags in there, right? It's like, there's 200 pound, 300 pound. I'm like,
I
well, these
hyped
are just
I
going
got
to stay here
250.
until like I get a forklift to come move them.
That 250, man, I was so hyped when I got it. Like, that's been because that's like the max for like 80 kilograms. Like at BC Strongest, we had a sandbag ladder. It was 150, 200, and like 250. So when I got 250 here,
Yeah.
it was like my ankle's good. But I like walk in, I'm like, all right, time to do some sandbag. What's my warm up? Either a 25-pound ball or a 200-pound sandbag.
Yeah, I know.
Like us little guys, we warm up with the hundreds usually.
It'll be cool. You'll like it in the summer too, because
yeah.
like out back we open or Brian opens the garage door and
Yeah.
the garage door's open, and like I want to like this year get a bunch of more stuff and like kind of develop that out back. But there's mats back out there and stuff, and
I want to learn how to do Atlas stones so bad.
yeah, and he's got those, right? He's got a bunch of those. But
he let me know last time he was coming, and I felt bad because I wanted to go do it. Like I messaged you about like having my class in here, but then I found out to make a long story short, I was like, okay, there's too many variables, and this was actually like an important like
Yeah,
project day where it was like you get taught and then you finish it and do that day.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I 100% would come. But yeah, no, I want to learn Atlas Stone so bad. Those things look so cool. When I went to Calgary, I went to the Strength Edge while I was there, and they had them, and I don't want to do them without like someone teach me how.
Yeah.
Which I should have. I had my coach from Kelowna there, which was dumb of me, but yeah, like I don't know. I just like lifting stuff that's bigger than me. Do we have a car deadlift here?
No, but that's actually something that we've like. Doug actually has been bringing that up, and like it could be pretty easy to do, and there's space out back, and it's kind of that like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know, something unique to have too, and it's like not always like crazy practical, but it's cool to have and do every once in a while.
Like my buddy has from back home, he has a car deadlift, and he'll like do other stuff with it. So he'll like use it as like kind of a sled drag and put some stuff on it. But yeah, like
because there's room to put it out back there, and it would be cool to do, and it'd be pretty easy to do, I think, based on what like Ryan can do and stuff.
Oh,
as far as like
you got space back there, that's for sure.
Car deadlift
We're not lacking
is so much
space.
easier than it looks.
Yeah.
So much easier because when you put it on the jack, you're only lifting about 10% of the car. So if it's and I know for like some people they're gonna be like, oh, well, that's still a lot of weight. So if you have a 3-ton car, 3,000 pounds, that's only about 300 pounds. And it's less of a deadlift and more of like a hack squat when you do it. So if you can hack squat 300, then you can do like a sedan. One of the things that really made me depressed, and I was trying to convince the like organizer at Kelowna Strongest, is they had 2 cars. They had a sedan for like the lightweights, and they had a massive Toyota Tundra for the heavyweights, and that's like 500 pounds unloaded. I was like, can I, because I've done 500 pounds on that thing, I'm like, can I please go do that? And they're like, no.
Well, even like what he was saying, like you can always even change the leverage on it too, so it is different. Like you could, manufacture or create something that like.
Does Doug have one?
No, but I forget what he said. He's seen one or something, and he's like, man, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is get like a junk car, and like you could weld up some shit on there where it's like you have different leverage points.
Like, doesn't Richard have a car in the garage?
Yeah, that might be too. Like
I know about the welding thing. The one that they have in Kelowna is like you just back up onto it.
Oh, like that. No, these guys were thinking of like getting a junk car, like something with no like leave whatever in it, and then just kind of weld up a rig for it. So depending on where you put like your attachment in there, you know obviously the further out, more leverage, lighter weight and stuff like that, because it's I don't know, I mean maybe it's easier said than done, but I don't think it's something that's like overly complicated as far as like just having something cool there that you use every once in a while.
Like there's so many like I got so much respect for strongwomen, especially the lightweight strongwomen. Like those girls picking up cars at their weight is like people like I've had girls in my like OT who I'm like, hey, you could do like car deadlift or whatever, and they're like, oh no, I could never. I'm like, there are girls who are like, you're everything, and like sure they've trained a lot more, and there's that aspect, but like I'm like, if you really wanted to, like you could achieve this for sure. And also like one thing for car deadlift, and I don't know about welding it on, but like you can set up like the pallets so that it's less of a deadlift and bit less, so it's kind of like when you put on the wagon wheels and the axle bar lifts instead, it kind of brings it up. Oh, sorry, I was just reminiscing about I love those wagon wheels. I haven't tried them here yet.
I don't use them. I used them a while ago, but I like, because I would do like way back like more, I like deadlifting, but like more rack deadlift style, just to kind of take it. And then that once we got those, I was like, oh, this is a cool like in between.
Yeah, it is nice, and also you can lift like I deadlifted 565 in competition with those on, and my max at that time was like 500. But to be fair, my nose did explode in blood. I had blue blood vessels in my eyes. My hand turned purple, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. But you just feel heavier weight too. Exactly. That does something too.
But yeah, no, it's a really cool piece of equipment, and I'm so lucky I got this gym. I was damn near depressed because I was like, I want to train strongman. I had so much fun with it. I couldn't find anything. Like I was just walking over in like Good Life, sandwiching 45s to be like this kind of like a sandbag and like trying to pick it up, and it just didn't work. But yeah, no, like this stuff's great, and like I straight up I was telling my friends, I'm like, there are so many like fitness like clubs now on campus. I'm like, why can't there be a strongman one?
Yeah.
Probably because there'd be one person in it, me, who wants to do this stuff. Everyone was like, you're fucking insane. But there's a deadlifting club. I got invited to the bodybuilding club, and that was interesting. So I'm like, what a fuck. I did not. Yeah. I don't think I look that good. But yeah, no. Yeah, there's so many clubs. The climbing club is so much fun. I know I don't look like a climber in the slightest. I get that.
There's a bunch though. There's a couple other people here that climb too.
There is.
I don't know
there
if you
is.
like.
I talked with someone, and I was gonna get my belay license, belay certificate course thing on Saturday, but I had something come up, so I wasn't able to do that. But like this weekend, I'm trying to look at. I'm trying to convince one of my friends. It's $60, but like I'm trying to convince one of my friends, be like, hey, we should go do this so that we can belay each other up on hills, because like. No one has their belay license. Everyone's up on the auto belays and stuff. Mm-hmm. This way we can just do it ourselves. But we'll see. Yeah, I love that stuff. It is kind of funny when I go, though, because, some tall guy will go and he'll, just reach and whatever. And then I go and I've had times where I've literally... I did one thing at a junction where straight up jumped from one end to the other, just dangled by my hands, and then continued the climb and got it. This other guy goes right after me, literally right after I jump down. He leans back, grabs it, and just moves. And I'm like, you gotta be. Yeah. I'm like, and I remember I was on a really tough climb and I was stuck. I was like, I don't know where to go. And I heard someone go, put your foot on the left triangle. I was just like, I'll humor you. And I swung my whole body outside, came back, and I just hear, never mind.
That's funny.
It's okay. I make more short jokes than anyone. I don't care.
That's awesome.
I'm like, bro. I really don't care. Me and my buddies in first year university, or maybe second, whatever. We had a drinking game where we'd all go on Tinder, or whatever, and we'd every time you found someone who had 6 foot only on their thing, that everyone else took a shot. There was one time where, and I laugh about these things. It's funny. There was a girl, she had a 10-point checklist. She's like, only swipe right if you got this. On Tinder, there's no height. Hinge screws me because it makes you show your height. So there's no height. But I matched with her. I got all of them. Hey, just so you know, I'm missing one thing on your list. And she goes, what is it? I'm not 6 foot, unmatched. Okay.
Oh, God.
That's fine, because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna find someone and if I
Right.
matters that much from, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if it's your deal breaker, that's fine. There are deal breakers I got, whatever.
Yeah,
There's no. I'm not someone going, oh, women are horrible if they want 6 foot. Just do what you want. Find someone you like.
Well, you gotta try and put something on the back of your mind for or if cool stuff comes up that it's you just want to be a nerd and talk about a certain thing, and whatever you got we'll find interesting. Sounds good. That, and then whether it's someone that's it'd be cool to get someone else with you too, just to add to an element of the conversation. Whether they're
don't say that. Everyone's gonna be DMing me going, can I get on the podcast and get happy hours?
Well, I'll say I'm taking resumes.
I'm taking resumes.
I'll
take bribes.
I'll pass it to the people who need to. No, but yes, for real.
My fellow classmates, I take bribes in cash and energy drinks.
But for real, if there's definitely, that'd be cool. I would find that interesting if forget someone else, but just cool stuff that comes up where even in class or school,
even
if it's
a study or something.
Yeah, this is a very prominent thing, or a real world thing that's happening now. It'd be cool to just have certain things to, nerd.
I'd be super happy to
awesome
do this, and for anyone who wants to learn more about OT stuff, I'd be more happy to do that. And also, it's a really cool Instagram page we got. I don't run it. Some people in my class do, but it's called Grassroots OT.
Yeah.
Ton of stuff on there about different ways.
I'll put it on all this, the YouTube and Spotify and stuff too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And thank you so much for having me on. I will, when something interesting comes up, that's great. If you guys want to talk, I'd be happy to do this outside of advocacy hours. So if you ever want to go deeper into concussion rehab,
for sure,
metabolism, because I did my honors thesis in metabolism. It's actually the only, at Diabetes Research Day, I was the only undergraduate to present, and it was the most terrifying thing. Everyone else is getting introduced going, Mr. Jacobson, PhD with this drug company, head of research in this, and that was Aldovino Rapini. Currently working on a bachelor's of human kinetics. So yeah, but it's okay. Everyone was hungover second day.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
That'd be
let's do
sweet.
it.
We'll
Yeah,
definitely
just
do it.
Let me know. Yeah, this has been fun, and thank you guys so much for having me on.
Awesome.
And,
Yeah, we'll do it
Yeah.
again.
Sounds good. Thank you
Solid.
guys. Awesome.
Until next time. Thanks for listening. See ya.